Alrighty, what's up, friends? Benjamin here in the Stoke Studio, aka Rogue Stoneware, Southern Oregon, and I thought today I needed to really pull back the curtain and unveil everything that I have learned. The beauty is, working in the studio, I get to have in the background news of all varieties, and I really enjoy diving deep. So today, I'm going to pull all the conspiracy theories, some of which you may believe or not, but it's beside the point, okay? Because I'm going to give you an actionable step at the end of this that is going to empower you beyond belief, that's going to help you to discover not only your path to destroying whatever conspiracy it is that you believe might be keeping you down, but also give you empowerment to start living the life that you want to live most. Okay, so first of all, yes, I do believe that there is an elite group of powerful people, the 1%, the 0.1%, and of course they communicate and they plan together. Why wouldn't you pool resources to have the effect that you want in the world? Do they always agree? Do they always get along? Absolutely not. There is drama, and there are storylines within the storylines of who might be getting the upper hand as far as what they want most, but also they have a generality of things that they want most, which they can all win on, right? So think of the global leaders as a family member, and you want to have broccoli and they want to have meatloaf. Ultimately, you both want to have dinner, so you find a compromise. Everyone gets to have dinner. The conspiracy theory part of that might be, I'm going to be working. This does get me fired up, though. I love it. We had a Bimble Snuff. This is our studio bunny. This is a mug I made in his honor. Just love that dude. And I'm going to be working on these pieces while I am sharing this insight with you that I have gathered. Okay? Right now I'm just cleaning up the handles a little bit. I feel like a dentist at the moment. It's really fun. And you might be asking why it is that I'm not wearing a shirt. Well, I have it really, there's two answers to that. One of them is it's really hot in the studio right now because I'm trying to dry these, and it is winter, it's raining outside. And the other one is that my business partner is a tyrant. My wife wants me to be shirtless as much as possible, and so thanks, love. That is another part of why she has confiscated all my shirts. So we have, let's get back to the conspiracy theory part of today's program. And so look how nice and clean that is now. I'm really thrilled on these pieces. These are going to be some fantastic mugs. Still, I'm working on the process of what this design might be, but I have a pretty good idea. So, to the conspiracy theories, there is no doubt that there is a global elite of power, and what is their shared goal? What is the dinner that they want to have? Well, number one, they want to stay in power. Isn't that totally obvious? Like, you gain power. There are few motivations in our life. I don't know if you know this, but one of the main ones, one of the greatest motivators, more than anything else, to actually elicit action in a person is the fear of loss. So if someone is going to take something away from you, you will do what you need to protect what is yours. If someone offers you something, you might go and do the thing to get the thing. But so like $100. If someone is going to take that $100 for you, you will freaking stand your ground and die for that thing. But if someone says, hey, if you take out my garbage for a week, I'll give you $100, you'll be like, well, yeah, whatever, So one of the greatest motor factors for human beings is the fear of loss. And so no one wants to lose power. And if you have enormous amounts of power, you only want to see that power grow, okay? This is just common sense and psychology, physiology, human nature, what have you. So I'm just connecting some dots here. Oh my goodness, so exciting. So we've got this global elite, this power, they want to stay in power. So what is it that they do? Well, number one way to stay in power is, and to keep others, is to have, they call it the unfair advantage. You've already got the money, use the money to have the unfair advantage to keep yourself in power and adversely keep others in lack, disempowered, right? The easiest way to do that, of course, is through, I would say, psychology. If you can convince people that they don't have options, then they don't see the options. If you don't see that there's a choice, then you don't have that choice, right? So that's one of the easiest ways to do that. And of course we do that mainly through, and I say we, because this is us, this is human nature. We all, if you were in their position, you would do this, more likely than not, okay? So, because we can rationalize anything, right? And being one of the 1%, is that something that you would want to give up? Your lineage, knowing that you were the one that gave up being one of the 1%? Oh my goodness, that would be, you would be the the blemish on the history of your lineage. There's no way that you would want to let that happen. So you would do everything. These are lovely. I'm really happy with these pieces right now. You would do everything that you could in your power to stay in power. And that means, working with others that are in power, right? So now we've got a conspiracy on our hands. This is freaking awesome. And what do? Well, the number one thing is to give you ideas that would disempower you, the masses, right? So that it's easier to control, I guess, easier to manipulate, easier to create systems where your power stays your power. And if you all agree, those that are in power, on creating a system like that, then you've got, the top 1% have so much money to do that. They've got all the greatest minds, access to all of the greatest tools, social media right here, right now. They're listening to us, and they have algorithms to determine, whatever it is that what best effect they can now do to make things happen that will create scenarios that will keep them in power. It's simple, right? So this is really fun to share this with you guys. I hope that you're enjoying this. So number one thing that they're going to do, I'm going to grab some mugs and I'll be right back. So I've got this nice rack of mugs right here. So number one thing that they're going to do is they're going to use media to make you believe that you don't have any choices, right? And using limiting vocabulary, will do that. So there's just so many different ways to use media. Let's see. I might link some examples down below, but I want to, for sake of this video and this thread, keep it going. So this is not going to be evidence-based right now, but I'll try and put it into the comments or whatnot. And if you have any that you'd like to share there, by all means, go ahead and do that, okay? The next thing that they're going to do is distract us, right? If you can be distracted from your purpose, from the abundance that really is intrinsically who you are. This world is infinite. This money that we play with, we have given it value. We give that value. It does not have value anywhere else. You put that money anywhere in the solar system, and now it's just a piece of paper or a piece of metal, or a lot of it right now is just digital, right? And so we have agreed on this system of money that we could disagree right away and it would fall apart, right? So, and we could go back to shells or barter, or this is kind of an unplausible scenario, but also it is one that very well could happen. Just like we could start to use the yuan from China instead, right? Or Bitcoin could become the next. We all agree on what these things are going to be. And we agree on it through, everyone is going to be different in how they agree. Some of them actually lead the market in how those choices are made. And then a lot of us just follow suit. We just follow right in, right? Because we don't believe that we have another choice. So number one is get rid of the choices. Number two is distract. And the distraction part is really interesting. And, you know, we've got so many ways to entertain ourselves now. And we have found that it's kind of social media and all that it's kind of like a drug to us, right? We find ourselves becoming addicted to it and even having withdrawals from it, like in just a matter of minutes or hours for some people. I would encourage you to try a technology fast and see how you feel. You know, just don't leave your phone at home for one day, and don't go on social or delete all the social media from your phone, you know, for one day, and see how often your mind goes to the yearning for having that, right? And what is that? It's really not community. It's not like that's what we're going for is that sense of community, but it really isn't. Like, we're sharing ideas here, which is fantastic. I love that. I hope this idea inspires you, and especially at the end, your actionable step, which I'm really excited to give you. So we have a global elite, Trump being part of that, Biden being part of that, Putin, and, you know, Bayes, all the one percenters, all the people that are in power, and some work their way there, some were grown or born into it. More often than not, I do believe that's the case, even though they don't always, you know, not all studies say that. I'm a little skeptical, but that doesn't matter. You get to prove your own life experience. And that is a big part of what I want to share today, is how it is that we step out of the matrix altogether. How do we do that? And how do we empower ourselves to live our best life? Because ultimately, isn't that what we're here to do? And what that means is, if you saw my last video, becoming more of who we are, right? And building community around celebrating one another in that journey. You know, you see a lot of people putting one another down, and that is, of course, just a tool used by media to create a culture of not lifting one another up, but being more competitive. We can all succeed together, right? So then they want to, so then the third one is to create illnesses that they can then fix, right? So fantastic. If you look at our health and our physical and mental and emotional well-being right now, in not only the US, but I would say the world in general has been under attack, and which has created a lot of business opportunities. And a lot of people have taken care or advantage of that, which, you know, some are good, but there's a lot of just fad, like diets and BS like that, you know, and pills. And like, I was on a little trip down in California recently, and we were in a couple of hotels, and I was turning on TV, see what was there. And oh my goodness, you guys, at least 50% of the advertisements, the commercials, were for drugs. And these were drugs that were like lifestyle drugs. Like, I didn't even know what they were for. They were advertised like a car or a beer commercial would be, where it's just, you know, big horses and people playing in a park. And then it's like, you got to buy the new XYZ drug. Like, really? Oh my goodness. So, then, of course, we know that the drug companies are very large. They're a part of this. We know that the healthcare system is very large. They're a part of this. We know that the education system is very large. It's a part of this, right? All of these players, I think, are involved. And unfortunately, business, as we all know, if you look at the, what do we call it? The weapon industrial complex, the war industrial complex. It's basically that, a large reason that we're in wars is simply so that we can sell or make more weapons, which makes us as Americans, the weapon manufacturers, rich, right? And so, a lot of people believe, and this very well may be true, I don't know, that we create a lot of wars simply so that we can make more weapons and have more opportunity for large businesses to step in and have services which, therefore they make a lot of money on. So war is big business, right? And how do we step out of that paradigm and into one where we're more humane and in a more natural, harmonious, synergistic expression of life, right? And I love that you asked that question, because right here, right now, it's in our hands. It's always in our hands. The way that we spend our money. Right now, money talks, right? So how are we spending our money? Are you giving your money to Bezos? Are you giving your money to Elon Musk? Right? There are some places where, you need a vehicle, this is the right vehicle, and you're going to buy that vehicle. But you don't have to buy a mug from Amazon. You don't have to buy a big box store mug, or clothing, or jewelry, right? Or soap, or you can start to look more locally. And you can support your community in people that are working with their hands I saw this great Dirty Hands Clean Money bumper sticker, right? We can change the paradigm. We can do that by living in our bliss, living in our journey, living in our passion, this is the cave that I fear most. Being an artist, that scared the crap out of me. And yet this is the life that is bringing me the most meaning. And hopefully for you too. I hope that my sharing this journey with you inspires you not only to be a more conscious consumer, one that supports your local artisans and community. I purchase probably 50 to 70% of our food from the local farmers market. And I swear I spend less money than I would going to Walmart or anything like that. And I eat so much more healthy, right? Let's go. I feel good about my body. I'm 50, I have wonderful movements, and my junk works fantastic. I have great vision and hearing, right? And I've lived a super active life as well. I beat the crap out of my body, but I treat it really well. And I want to remind you, it's preventative medicine. And that every choice that we make every day is the one that becomes who we are. And that is hopefully what this is going to remind you of. When you have a handmade mug, you are not living the styrofoam truck stop life. You're not living the Target freaking tumbler life, right? You're living the handmade, authentic and genuine, what is your effing purpose life? And F the man and F the powers that be. I'm going to live in my source. I'm going to live in my power. I'm going to live in my passion. I'm going to spend my money in places that doesn't leave my community. And right now, my community is a little bit more broad. I'm looking at the United States of America because now you can purchase things from all over. And Etsy isn't what it used to be. So I recommend, really being discerning. You can use Facebook and ask people there, hey, anyone know of a local clothes maker, tailor, or what have you, potter, woodworker. I love right now, I love local artisans, craftsmakers, services, all of that. And we have that choice. And where we spend our money, friends, money is energy essentially. and we feed that to grow what we want to see in the world. So if you want to see more handmade, and if you want to see more authentic, experience of being human, then you really can. You have the choice. You have the option. And that doesn't mean that you're going to fill your garage with a bunch of crap. Who wants that? Who wants... I had, at one point, 3 motorcycles. And that was costing me probably $5,000 a year in repairs and maintenance and insurance. And I didn't have time to ride them as much as I wanted to because I'm in the studio. So I got rid of 2 of them. I have one. I rode it last week, and I'm having a great freaking time, right? If I need to rent something, I'm going to rent it. We have choices. And no matter what conspiracy you believe is keeping you down or limiting you or creating a life of pain for so many people, and you very well might be right, one action that you can absolutely take is to, number 1, start your own small business. Whatever it is that you feel drawn to do, start doing that thing. Do it. And you will be amazed how purposeful and joyful and scary and meaningful you will feel. And that will change that alone will change your life. Because now every day you need to perform at your highest and best to make your life work, because you're a pioneer in your life. No one is just going to give you money to do this. You've got to make it happen every day. You've got to step into the video. You've got to step into the studio and finish those mugs, right? So you've got to stay in good shape, and you've got to keep your mind clear. You've got to know what your next best step is. The other thing that you can do is support people that are doing that. Is support your local potter. Support your local farmer. Support your local soap maker. Support your local yoga studio. Like, let's go do yoga. Never mind these big box fitness stores. Let's go and have a cathartic experience on the yoga mat, breathing deeply and stretching our body in a holistic manner, right? So all that to say, whatever conspiracy it is that you believe might be at play and kind of limiting your life, let it be that, and let it go. Let Trump do Trump. Let Putin do Putin. Let Biden do Biden. Let Kamala, let all that go. They're going to do what they're going to do. And your fretting over it is not going to do anything. But what you can do, is remind you, you can buy local. Every dollar is a vote for what you want to see in the world. And we don't need to give money to the Walmarts anymore. We don't need to give money to Jeff Bezos anymore. All that money disappears, as you very well know. It actually goes into programs that probably make your life worse, right? Because they want to stay in power. And I don't blame them for that. I don't blame them for 1 second. If I were in their shoes, I would want to probably do the same thing as well. And I hate to admit that, but we are all human. And I like to believe that if I were to be doing that, that I would do it in the most beautiful, harmonious, healthy, synergistic way possible. But that's another conversation now, isn't it? I'm already doing my best to live my best life. This spiral right here on the bottom, a reminder that every day we are making choices to either become more of who we are or less. That's what that spiral is a reminder of right there. Make the choice to become more of who you are. Make the choice to support the things that you want to see in the world. Be that force for good. Have fewer but nicer things. Appreciate you guys.